My friends, welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report. I, as always, am Dr. Love, and of course, we can't have the show without Sauce Bronson. What's up, buddy?
Yo, that'd be me.
So I hope everyone had a great holidays with Christmas and everything, whatever else people like to celebrate, but hopefully, everyone had a good time this past weekend. Again, this year has gone by very quickly, and we're at the last week of the year, getting into a brand new year, 2023, which is crazy to think.
As a Lions fan, as a wrestling fan, I'm looking forward to it because it's it's the end of the year. Start January, we're gonna get new storylines built up, especially it's about to be Rumble season. New Japan's got stuff coming up real soon. Of course, Impact and AEW's got their thing going on. But as a Lions fan, man, it's roller coaster. It's roller coaster of emotions right now. 2 games left.
It really is. It really is something else. Pretty much with the Lions, they had control their destiny in a sense, and they still need help too, but. They really have to win out, and even if they don't make the playoffs, they still have a lot of good stuff that happened with them. The building, the some good pieces falling into place, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
right,
very happy to see that. And as a Red Wings fan myself, they're looking great this year as well. Going into year 3 of the Yzer plan with Steve Yzerman. So, yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of Yzer plan, hey, let's go.
Hey. So
this is inaugural season. When I got this is Hell in a Cell, Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. It started the Sami Zayn heel turn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. I didn't get to go, but I do. But that was I remember seeing that was a good show. Good show. But like I said, you're here for some wrestling. We're not necessarily sports, but you know what? We talk about it all here. But yeah, so this is a big year in wrestling, and we've only been doing podcasts since August, but obviously been watching wrestling since then. So we wanted to kind of go over some good stuff that happened this year, not so good stuff, and then of course moving into 2023, kind of stuff that we hope that'll happen resolution-wise for these companies, as you've mentioned already. So. First and foremost, let's just, I just want to say this. As in 2022, if you had to pick one wrestler, we'll do male and female. We'll do one male wrestler that would be your wrestler of the year. It doesn't have to be for whatever your reasonings are. Who would that be, Sauce?
Okay, so let's start it off. My female wrestler of the year, actually, is a wrestler who I believe wasn't even, I don't think she held a strap this year. Held any type of champion, but I'll say Rhea Ripley. I'm
Yep.
going Rhea Ripley is my number one.
That's a good pick. I mean, she is, yeah, very, very much so.
And the
Very
main
much
reason why is because she saw that one, she could run a stable herself. Two, um, as far as she's pretty much got all the tools needed. She's been entertaining. I mean, as far as the year goes, granted, once again, as far as I remember, didn't really hold no gold or whatnot. But as far as herself, she doesn't really need a belt to get over. You know, every time she's in the ring, she cuts damn good promos. She just pretty much you whatever Papa H, you know, or you know, Papa McMahon asks of her, I mean she delivers. So yeah. I know I'm going a little left field with that pick, but yeah, I'm going with Rhea Ripley.
no,
AKA
not
Mom, AKA Miss Mommy.
Miss Mommy. Not at all. You know, you don't have to wear the belt in a sense to be the top person. You know, in how she's reinvented her character and evolved it over the past few years. I mean, when she first came in during the like the Mae Young Invitational, she literally was a Charlotte like clone.
Yep.
She looked just like Charlotte Flair or any other long-haired blonde wrestler. Could wrestle really well, but was so generic, you know. So with her time in the NXT UK really helped her evolve her character, which was the best thing for her, you know. And then she continued to do that. You know, she was the NXT champion, then she UK, and then the NXT champion, and you know it. I remember when she lost that belt at WrestleMania, the first year of like the 2020, you know, empty arena match or whatnot against Charlotte Flair. Everyone kind of was like, Charlotte was going to win the NXT title, you know, and it was opening match too, so it's kind of like, but she didn't need the belt, you know. She continued to keep pushing forward her character, and she was a face, and it didn't really suit her well. And then thank God they kind of realized that and moved forward with her being a heel. And then of course going in Judgment Day, and arguably is the best character, best person in that group, you know, is the leader of that group, you know. Finn Balor, sit down. She like towers over you. I like you, Finn Balor. She is the leader. So, but no, that's definitely a good pick. That's a good pick for sure. If I had to pick though, yeah, see, just for the sake of picking someone different, because I most likely would have picked her, but I honestly, just looking at the roster, looking at what everyone's been doing, it's hard pressed not to say Bianca Belair. It really has, she has put on plenty of great matches. She had a great match at WrestleMania. Sasha Banks, that was her last pay-per-view before she walked out. That was her last pay-per-view before she walked out was WrestleMania. So, just think about she left on a high note in that sense. So, if you think about it, I mean, yes, she had other stuff on TV and everything, but that actual pay-per-view was WrestleMania where she lost the women's title. But even before that, Bianca had just such a pretty huge, meteoric run, and she deserves every. Now some people are starting to get that Super Cena vibe from her, which is, I mean, yeah. We were just looking up most matches for wrestlers in 2022, and she was on the 6 on the list, and she had like an 81% winning percentage or something. It was something ridiculous like that, and it's like she deserves it. But now it's like she's also becoming someone that doesn't need the belt. Not really, She could have it for a while, but you want to make sure if you have someone beat her that it makes sense. Like you've already had Bayley do it, try to do 3 times or whatever, and now that's overplayed. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't personally want her to win at this point, but I'd have to say Bianca for me. Yeah, that's who I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say with Bianca. She's definitely, like you said, becoming more like that Cena type character where, kids love her or whatnot, which is, really the big thing with the WWE. And I think what was really making people kind of start a sour or her run is the whole booking of her and Bayley. Like basically, Bayley's got this team who's got gold, but she doesn't have gold. So it kind of makes Bailey look kind of bad. The fact that she can't get the win the strap from Bianca or whatnot. Then, like you said, started turning to the Super Cena type deal. So,
Yeah.
And for the most part, I'm not mad at that choice. Oh, we got something from Papa Mafia. It said, Dr. Love, your new mic sounds great.
We know it's something. I actually don't have a new mic, believe it or not. I don't know. The same headset. So if I just sound better, it sounds clear. That's nice. Maybe I'm.
Yeah, I was
maybe,
looking too. I was looking for a second. Like, wait, he's got a mic. Where's his mic at?
No, no mic. I'm coming from the. Can't hear me. Coming here. Now you hear me. But
yeah.
I am going to be getting a mic soon. So because me and my brother will be doing stuff here, so I'll be getting one soon. But hey, if you hear me good and clear and concise, that's all that
matters. Right. But yeah, shout out to Bianca, as I'll call her Miss Cesaro. Because every time she wrestles, that's all I see.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so moving on to like the male wrestler, I'm just going to go out and say it. Seth Rollins is my number one this year. I know a lot of people will say again, with your Roman Reigns stuff like I can't give it to Roman Reigns. He hasn't wrestled enough. I'm sorry. Yeah, you've been champion 2 years. You haven't wrestled enough. I can't. But Seth Rollins has worked his butt off all year. He's been in so many feuds that were memorable. I mean, the Cody Rhodes feud, and arguably one of the best matches of the year in his Hell in a Cell match with him. So, and then just feud after feud, he was not selfish, and he would put them over, but making himself still look good, And then he loses the U.S. title just to get it back, and then another feud that's looking good. Him and Austin Theory, and Austin Theory just gave him a huge burn too the other day, where he said, "Oh, you're the third most celebrated champion from Shield or something, popular member for Shield." And I'm just like, okay, I see what you did there. In a McMahon world, that would have never flown, because the McMahon would be like, no, Ambrose, no, he was AEW, can't say that. It's like, come on. So
actually, kind of like, because what's that kind of did something similar. CM Punk, when he was talking, when he was his feud with Moxley, he kept saying like, you wasn't even the best member on your team, and you wasn't even the best John in your company.
Yeah, that's
so that's basically what Theory. That kind of reminds me.
Yeah, and they got this upcoming Monday rematch for the U.S. title. So Rollins and Austin Theory. So, but it looks like we do have another chat here. It's from D-Town guy. What's up, man? What's up, fellas? What's up to you, man? Good to hear from you again.
Let's say
just talking wrestling.
Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hopefully, Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
But yeah, for the most. Oh yeah, I'll let you go ahead.
About Seth Rollins. Yeah, so Seth, honestly, just it's a hands down to me, great worker, and I'll tell it just So to me, absolutely, he's my guy. So what about you, Sauce?
Well, before I give my pick, hopefully give D-Town Jay. Hopefully you guys did too. Yeah, my Chris is pretty good. I'm looking forward to a good New Year's. Everybody around me, they had a good holiday, so that means I had a good holiday. So
very cool. Very
but
cool.
now, with that being said, my wrestler of the year, MJF. No questions about it. Granted, now he wasn't involved. He wasn't involved in the best match of the year. But every time this man shows up, he's money. He's gold. Yep. A lot of people will say he's what the Miz, should have been or whatnot. And he's finally got the gold. He's the head of the company. He's the front runner of the company. And I've been saying for the longest, since AEW, since they became a thing, since they got this championship. Granted, I understand that guys like Jericho and Omega, it made business money sense for them to win it because they're well-known names, they're established. As far as in America, North America, Jericho makes sense. Then of course, when Omega wins it, You got the New Japan, audience will not to bring in as far as when they win the belt. Then of course you got Mox and all these other folks who won the belt. But I feel like MJF is the true first AEW talent to win this belt. So the guy, like I said, the guy is money every week. Every Wednesday, we all tune in to see what he got to say. And then now he, they gave him the ball. He's gonna run with it. Now, ever since he's been champion, now I've noticed something that the other guys haven't done much of. Since he's had that belt, he's already made a few appearances. Like whether it's podcast or the radio show. Well, now he's already had that belt on his shoulder. Publicity.
Yeah.
And I feel that is very, 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 very important. Because WWE used to do that. They used to do that a lot in the late 90s. Their champion would go like on Conan or somebody, whatever, Leno. Had the belt with them, just, as far as promoting the company. So, but with MJF, the guy, every time he shows up, the man's money. Is he the greatest wrestler in the world? No. Is he the greatest wrestler in the roster? No. But he does what he's supposed to do. He gets the job done. And his goal is for you to tune in to hate him.
Yep.
And now,
and he knows it too. And he knows he can sell that. And that's what matters.
So he has now made it to the promised land. And I'm just wanting to see what he's got in store for 2023. Because 2024 starts the bidding war.
Yeah, that starts the bidding war, right? So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but like you said, there's guys out there that's going to go with their Romans. Like you said, your Rollins, your Omegas, your Punks. But MJF, that's my guy for 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, 2022, I'm sorry. But that's my guy this year. So
that's a good choice. That's a good choice for sure. So very cool. Very cool.
Oh, D-Town guy, his boy is Sami
Zayn.
Yeah, Sami Zayn. Don't get me wrong, Sami, the man's had a hell of a year. And even if you take away the bloodline stuff, like the dude was still just killing it every week, on SmackDown, whether it was dealing with Knoxville or just dealing with other wrestlers, other wrestlers on the card or whatnot. Every time Sami showed up, the dude is money. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. The best things he could have did was turn heel and grow his hair out.
Yes.
Because now, like I say, he looks like that dastardly, villain from the 80s who comes up with these, like that villain that comes up with these stupid Wile E. Coyote plans. Think it's going to work, and then it backfires. And then he's like, damn it, I'll get you again.
I'll get you. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, and with D-Town, Jay, so underrated, I agree. And once again, this guy, this guy's not, he doesn't have a main belt. He has had gold around him all year, if any, this year. I don't care. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember. He might have. I can't remember if he had an IC run for a moment on SmackDown.
He did. Yeah, he had. He was Intercontinental Champion when they brought out the new belt. The new Intercontinental belt, so he was champion there for a hot second.
Yeah,
but he was just getting into that heel character. He was on TV, and it was good, but it wasn't. It still hadn't pushed over into where we liked him so much more. Yeah. But
like even when the bloodline thing is over and done with him, like the dude is still gonna be like a regular. He's gonna be a regular draw every week, as he should be.
Absolutely.
So, I'm pretty sure if you listen to other wrestling podcasts outside of us who talk about their top guys, I'm pretty sure. And even if I think it's fair to include all the promotions, I'm pretty sure Sami is in a lot of their top fives.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Because, again, it's not just about the win-loss. It's not just about winning the titles. It's not just, putting on Meltzer's 5-6-star matches or something like, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point, you could put someone like a Will Ospreay up there who he'll have 5-6-star matches all the time. But, it's not just about that. You got to look at all the factors in it, how entertaining and charismatic they can be on TV. The fact that he tries the best and wins at getting these guys in the bloodline to break character when they're supposed to be sitting there like a heel. It's the best, and that's something that to be said there. He takes catchphrases and makes them a thing. Meet overnight, Failing Uzi. I mean, come on, that was on every single newscast for wrestling, like the next day, and there was shirts for the next week already being made. So hey,
what Sammy reminds me of? He reminds me of a modern day Owen Hart when it came to Nation of Domination.
Yes, that's funny. That's funny right there.
The dude
that's really
who sticks out like a sore thumb, but you just can't help but love it. It just works.
Yep.
Just for a second, imagine if Sami Zayn, if you could trade places with the great Owen Hart, trade roles. Imagine Sami Zayn in there with the Nation of Domination every week.
Oh my God.
I can just imagine. He just shows up, with he just walks out with his Black Panther with a Black Panther outfit on.
My God.
He's got the beret. He's just talking about damn the man, how terrible the man is, even though he would have been the palest guy on the roster. Oh man,
they'd be like, what's this going on?
Yes, I just picture it in my head like how great that would be.
Oh my!
But with that being said, I would say definitely as far as my guy, MJF, your guy, Rollins, my gal, Ripley, and as far as your gal, Belair, all four of these folks, they got bright futures ahead of them.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So, but going, so now in a sense, moving forward into this again so quickly through this year, but now we're headed into 2023. January obviously starts the road to WrestleMania, going into, and then Wrestle Kingdom has the first week next week for New Japan. It's obviously lots of big wrestling stuff, but we decided we wanted to talk about what we think the wrestling companies, what their resolutions should be, whether they're their wishes or something that needs to change, something this or just what we would like to see happen, even if some of them might be far-fetched. I have some possibly that are definitely more far-fetched, but some realistic, some are just pipe dreams, but we'll see, But yeah, so I guess for me, if I had to say something right off the bat, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, and it just depends on how everything happens at WrestleMania. But we have to have the world titles have to be split, in my opinion. In WWE, they have to be split to have the separated titles again. And the two reasons for this is that there is so much talent on both these teams, both these shows,
Yeah.
And there are people that absolutely can win that universal story title, and could win the WWE title. But because of being locked into this unified belt, if you're not going to just pick a brand new title, like undisputed title back in 2002, then make a brand new title, or just separate the titles. You know what I'm saying? Do that. That's the only thing, because then it's the best thing that would happen. Because I mean, I know people look at certain people that became champion and maybe it didn't on paper work, but it worked for other reasons. Case in point, you can look at Kofi Kingston. He blew up beyond belief with the fans. I mean, it was insane. It was one of those things where the fans basically made it happen for him, and he deserved it. He's been more veteran, but a lot of people looked at that also and probably thought, well, why would you do that? It's like, well, you know what? You strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah. Sometimes
wrestling feuds or wrestling storylines cool off because they take too long to put them to their full potential. So that really is it's sad. It's sad to see that happen. Okay, one big example of this is in AEW. AEW, you remember, has only 6 hours to work with pretty much every week.
Yeah.
Not counting dark and whatever. So when they drag out storylines like that, And when someone's real hot, it's not going to work on them. Thankfully, they looked at with the Bowens and Caster, the Acclaimed. That's bam, strike when iron's hot. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Yep. But other times they wouldn't do this. They'd kind of hold back. It's like, and then you only have so much time. You only have that 6 hours of time. You only have 4 big shows a year. It doesn't work. It doesn't really work to me that way. But when you have, so now if you separate the titles, we're getting back to that, you have now 2 different people, like several people could go for those world titles. You have Seth Rollins that could easily be both champions. You have McIntyre, for sure, McIntyre. This is a guy that was so over the face, but he's not going to win the title. Separate the titles, he can win it. And the good part about all of this is that the Universal title stock is now high again. For the longest time, if you were Universal Champion, you were looked at like the meh. You were like I'm a secondary champion. I wasn't really worth it. When Brock Lesnar held it for so long, it gave it a little bit of stock, but only because he didn't wrestle. He had it, and he only wouldn't wrestle that much. When Goldberg had it, no one gave a crap. Kevin Owens, my boy.
Yeah. The first time he got it, that was the most they cared because, like you said, he basically took it from Owens. And then that first time with him and Goldberg with locked horns.
Yeah.
I mean, when Goldberg got it, people was tuning in to see as far as that.
Yeah, I guess I just hate the Goldberg one because he had to beat Kevin Owens, my boy, for it, And if you go back and watch that match too, Kevin Owens goes into it. What's funny is our opening for the show has a part with Kevin Owens, and that's at Royal Rumble when he loses the belt. It absolutely is. He goes in, he does this whole big entrance, he gets in the ring, rolls out of the ring 2 or 3 times, knowing that I'm about to get speared and lose this match in 5 seconds. So, he did the JOB, but it's okay. He's going to be on bigger things now. But now with the Universal title stock is high, it's on level, just like how the world title back when Triple H's Reign of Terror had it, and Undertaker would have it, or Edge had the belt. And that's the best part. So again, we have McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Ironically, you could, if Austin Theory, he could continues on his path of where he's, what he's doing now. He could be even for a title contention, possibly. It's a lot of different options on both shows. So the separated title has to happen, whether it happens after WrestleMania or it happens before, and there's matches on both nights. There's a lot before that happens. Royal Rumble, then Elimination Chamber, and then whatever's in between with the shows. So that would be my biggest thing that has to happen for 23, though, for sure.
Okay.
One of the things. So
Gotcha. Yeah, and part of my little list of some of the stuff I was talking about was definitely that want to see a Seth or Drew title run sometime in 2023. I think especially Drew, especially McIntyre, he's pretty much your biggest baby face in the company right now. So, get the strap on him again. It'd be nice to see, give him, nice little, maybe 5-month run and whatnot, and go from there. But I guess the biggest thing for me, I'm gonna go towards AEW a little bit.
Okay.
Papa Khan. Just the whole booking thing. I want to see him, instead of him trying to do everything himself, put the put the booking on somebody else. Obviously, when Cody Rhodes was there, booking was great. A lot of good stories being told. But then it seemed like when Khan took it over, it was more about, let's just put all these dream matches together. Let's just put all these guys together. It was almost like, a guy who's just got a whole bunch of new toys and just want to play with all his toys in the room or whatnot. And he just wants, with no thought, no process, just whatever. I would like to see him, just have more people, give him, a little bit of talent. Have somebody in charge of talent relations, get somebody in charge of booking who knows what they're doing. My dream person would be Jim Cornette, but Jim Cornette said, there's no way in hell he would do it because He said, as long as he says, according to him, paraphrasing, as long as those particular wrestlers that he don't take seriously is there, he's not going to waste time.
EVPs. What?
Yeah.
What? EV?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But, with Tony, I would say for him to have made it this far, kudos to him. I'm sure a lot of people didn't see AEW making it this far, especially through the pandemic, since how we saw, other things like that, like the XFL burnout. But a lot of people didn't see AEW lasting that far, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I like to see, a little bit more structure in the future, a little more structure with backstage, a little more structure with the booking or whatnot, and going forward from there. Because, I'm pretty sure we already know they're doing this best of 7 thing. We already know it's just prolonging, the EVPs to get their stuff back, to get their belts back. So, but beyond that, definitely want to see, like I said, Tony Khan just bit, more structure. Your foundation is there. I mean, but we just want to see it grow, improve and grow. Because, Papa H took over, when he took over WWE Creative, he clearly has no intentions on slowing down or letting up. So, we just don't want to see, AEW, start floundering, just, because WWE seems like, it's a place where people enjoy coming back home to again. So,
well, yeah, because you never want to see a true wrestling fan doesn't want to see a company get falter and fall and fail, because it gives good competition. It gives you good competition. It gives people you like to see. It's not in your favorite company wrestle for somebody else. I mean, that's always a plus. It's always going to be a plus. But yeah, Tony, TK, what he's got to stop doing is stop worrying about every little criticism that any writer with 2 brain cells will write some article, and he starts arguing about it. Every single thing. It's like, if you think all these years that McMahon would address every single criticism over all the years, if any, if he did, he would have had a heart attack years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because of how his blood pressure going so high. It's like, just because you have social media and you have all these outlets to do it doesn't mean you have to go on there and defend it, And I just have to, just because this was funny from D-Town Guy, Jay. Vince Russo is all elite. Oh, Lord. Could you imagine, Sauce? Bro, could you imagine?
The only thing I can imagine is AEW closes its doors real soon if that ever happens.
But so yeah, with TK though, with Tony Khan, he's got to stop worrying about Booker of the Year, because he was talking about that months ago. I'm this Booker, best Booker of the Year. It's like, you don't have to be.
No,
have someone else do it. No. For God's sake.
Actually, to piggyback what you're saying, I'm pretty sure his father, as much criticism as Jacksonville has gotten this year, even though they found some late success, but the criticism his dad's football team's been getting, for the last couple of years, his dad ain't on there trying to argue with, Skip Bayless or argue with Kyle Cowhern or the newspapers and writers. The man just keeps it moving. I mean, I'm sure he knows that it's there. He probably addresses it to, everybody below him, this is what they're saying. I need this to get fixed. Tony needs to take a page, from his dad.
Yep. He just chill. Let people say what they want, because it's literally the internet and people can say whatever they want. And you got trolls, you got real fans, you got people that are journalists, quote unquote.
Well, I think what originally started was when Bischoff was criticizing it. He was basically just trying to give him some pointers. Listen, unless you want this place to end up like the place I used to work at, this is some stuff you need to do. And then Tony Khan got in his feelings. He said another thing too. He was like, even though you may not agree with what I'm saying, you don't have to be on here, spouting like a child about it.
Well, yeah, it's like you sit there and you would not listen to a veteran's advice about something that you really aren't, not saying qualified, but you aren't. You're not as qualified to run, and you're getting this is helpful information. He's talking about Bischoff, who's admitting that WCW failed, but guess what? I ran it well for a while, and it. Yeah, so he's got to mature, and for sure, TK gotta be
Like
more mature.
The crazy thing about TK is he has all this crazy backbone for the people criticizing his company, yelling at. But what was that backbone? We all employees was trashing your company while you sitting there. What was that backbone at?
Trashing verbally and physically, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh! But
we
gonna move past that. We not gonna go back to that. We're not gonna go back to that road. We're not gonna go back down that road. But that being said, I would definitely say have TK definitely put some right people around him. Instead of trying to do everything himself. Yes, yeah, I know. Like yes, Booker of the Year. You get it, may you not. Doesn't really matter. But long term, as far as long term, get some people around you. Like, I'm not gonna go on this too much longer, but get JR in head of like talent relations or whatnot. Get as far as a booker, get somebody who's well versed. As far as with booking, and obviously you'll still have final say so or whatnot. But yeah, just because right now you just like a dude who just bought a whole bunch of toys and you just got them all over the bedroom floor and just
They're like, here, do this. Oh, broke. Oh no, broke my toy.
But I would say, once again, AEW survived longer than most people thought they would, and may they continue to prosper. So,
right.
So back to you, Doc. What else you got? What else is your wish list?
So I got something here that's kind of like a 3-parter, and for all three. Well, I say for 3 companies: for WWE, for AEW, and for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And so it's a little bit more, but I felt like it's best to kind of talk about all 3 at once. It's I'm in 23. I want to make sure that all these companies respect and keep pushing forward for their women's divisions. Either AEW has to, we'll start with them. AEW has to solidify their women's division, which they've already started to do now. Thank God we have no interim champion anymore. Thank you about that. But really solidify the women's division. Who's your top people? Your feuds going in, not throwaway feuds like anybody that fought Jade Cargill. Just thrown away feuds. Like, yes, there was a little bit with Nyla Rose where she was like stole the belt. That was nice. That was actually good, for a little bit. Athena for a little bit, but then no rematch. Done. Bye.
Well, to be fair, nobody wants to see that match happen ever again.
I understand. Well, yes, we understand that because Jade Cargill is your favorite wrestler, Sauce. I know. You want to see her all the time, but it is gone, and he's gone. But Dr. Love show, what's going on? but yeah, I want to see go even the women's division AEW. I love Paige, the Soraya, but she doesn't need to wrestle. She doesn't need to wrestle, But I want Britt Baker. I want her back on the top. I want there. Chris Statlander. I want her in there as well. I don't know. I just want them to focus on the belt and make sure that's defended all the time. Toni Storm worked her butt off defending that belt.
Yeah.
Even before Thunder Rosa was hurt, she never defended the belt. She never was defending it at all. They never booked it that way.
And to be fair, not to be fair, because she can kick rocks. But I wanted to say, Toni Storm, just piggyback over say Toni Storm definitely defended it, and Hayter's been defending it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, exactly. She's been defending it too. So it was like Toni Storm, now Jamie Hayter doing it. So just continue on what they've been doing by making sure it's showcased on TV and every pay-per-view, and the storylines will write themselves, But as for the TBS title, I don't even know where they're going with this, because on one hand it looks like to them that belt, like anybody that's for the women's title, does not go for the TBS title. It's like back in WWE when they had the women's title, then they brought out the Divas title. So you had 2 women's belts at the same time, and then they got rid of the women's title and kept the ugly ass Divas belt. It was like, what? My hands are like this. So I don't know what they plan on doing with it. Is Jay just going to have it as an accessory now? Like I'm champion, but it's like I just have this belt. No, no one's ever going to beat me for it. Like I don't know. Just have someone come and beat her, and then make that into a feud. Make her work for it. To work to get better. So we'll see. But it does. My next part of the women's stuff. But actually, D-Town guy here. Thank you. We love all the chats. Sasha will be the key factor. And yes, so basically with New Japan, that's what I was talking about with their women's division. They now have a women's title for the first time ever with Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Kairi Sane is their current champion. Now, after the past few weeks, there's been a lot of heavy speculation that Sasha Banks will be debuting at Wrestle Kingdom next week, which is basically New Japan's WrestleMania event, basically. And most likely either going under her real name, Mercedes Vernado, or Mercedes Monet. That apparently she trademarked that name as well. And she's not on the card. It would just be like she would just show up to either try to challenge for the belt or just the women's division at all. But it makes sense why they would spend the money to bring her in because of them bringing this new women's title to New Japan. Right. They've always had women's wrestling through the Stardom with them, but now having it first and like right there now, what else better than to have a massive star that in WWE come there to be in that world title picture? She doesn't even have to win it though. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't even have to win the title. They might have her win it, depending on however her contract is. Typically, those are kind of per appearance contracts,
right?
But it just depends. So New Japan, they just have to kind of do the same thing, They when they push forward with the women's title, Sasha Banks, if she shows up, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. Internet's already going to blow up. Sasha Banks. Or you know what? It's a huge swerve, and Sasha Banks shows up in the Women's Royal Rumble. Watch it be a big swerve at that point, Or you know what? She does both. She does that, and then she shows up there the same month. Triple H's world now. I'm just saying, anything can happen.
I swear it's almost like we got the same list because I said something. One of my wish lists was similar to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just piggyback off of what you said. Yes, I would love to see AEW strengthen their women's division. The TBS, I would just call it the Jade title at this point because I don't see nobody beating her for it. At this point, she used, at this point, it's pretty much a title that is marketed for her. And women's. As far as WWE, the women's division is pretty solid. Coming a long way, and obviously Impact, they've always known probably to have like the strongest women's division in pro wrestling. So
for a while they did, and now they definitely have a few good pieces there. Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, when she left
Mama
there.
Pump.
Oh yeah, come on.
But I would like to see. Actually, I know a lot of people want her to go to AEW. Hell, I mean, even she'll go to AEW. I mean, having Mandy Rose pop up on Impact, that'd be a good look for them as well. So
yeah.
I think anywhere Mandy goes is automatically going to, is going to bring prestige and it's going to elevate the women's division, whatever company she goes to. So.
Right. I know. And it's funny about that. You say that because she obviously can't use the Mandy Rose name, but her real name is Mandy Sachs. Sacks.
Yeah.
Sachs. Now I understand why we don't go by your last name, right?
Right.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see that, whether it was a long-term thing or just a short-term type deal, but that'd be interesting to see. With WWE, though, it's not necessarily the women's title that needs to. I mean, we talked about it before already. With Ronda Rousey, SmackDown champ, Bianca, Raw champ. I care more about, in a sense, the whole women's division, especially like the tag team titles, because they have been defended considerably more times, and damage control pretty much holding on to him now, which is not a bad thing. Hold on to him for a while and keep defending him. Like you have these teams that get haphazardly put together, and it's like Roxanne Perez and Rodriguez, Rodriguez, and it's like no, Raquel needs to be singles and start dominating, right? Because stop having like smiling face. It's the Lashley smiling face gimmick all over again.
Yeah.
Where I come in there and I'm just smiling. I'm like, you are a monster. Come on.
Like they just happy to be there.
Yep. So hopefully that'll change going into it. It's just certain people getting pushed, and they have been doing that. They've definitely been doing that here and there, like Shotzi Blackheart being on more on TV more. The Roxanne Perez being brought to SmackDown for a couple weeks and then goes down, wins the NXT title, and I just hope to see that with these teams more. Asuka, teasing the return of her Kana gimmick, which is gonna, if it actually happens, it's gonna be sick, because when she was Kana, it was, like messed up in a good way. Heel Asuka, crazy face paint. It was a good time.
Basically, she almost would be going back to her NXT, basically kind of like her NXT ways, where she came in, even though she was a baby face, she definitely did not wrestle like one.
No, definitely that strong style for women's type of wrestling. Yeah, I'll let her for sure. Alexa Bliss, they're having her do like her heel turn here. She's going to be facing Bianca Belair on next Monday's Raw, and that's going to be cool to see that too. Yep. She doesn't have to necessarily be like the Bray Wyatt sister Abigail. I know they're hinting towards that. If they do that, that's fine. I just want heel Sasha Banks back. Heel Alexa Bliss back. That's what I want. Because she just always worked better as a heel. Some wrestlers are always going to be that way. But yeah, as long as that kind of keeps pushing forward, if you're, and that's all that matters. So in a sense, the women's division, all of them, I just want them all the groups to keep pushing forward on it. Impact is, like you said earlier, seems to be the one that's consistent most of the time when it comes to the women's title.
Well, the women's division in general too.
Yeah. So they keep moving forward with that.
Yeah. So speaking of moving forward, so I got a small one.
All right.
But let's get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views. Like I'm just saying, if I had a red hat on, it would say make Money in Bank a part of WrestleMania again. Just little stuff like that. Like obviously there's certain ones that need to be gimmicks. Like obviously, me personally, keep the TLC pay-per-views, because obviously, you have some chair matches, table matches, whatever. It's basically like another Extreme Rules. I'm happy with that being what it is.
See, then, like, just because I don't want to forget it later. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would get rid of TLC. They did this year. It was already gone. Extreme Rules, if you're gonna should have TLC matches at it. That's in my opinion. But what you're saying does make sense. Go on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, you good. No, you good. They like Hell in a Cell, just get rid of that pay-per-view, please. Because it's at this point, knowing like the sale obviously doesn't mean nearly what it used to.
No.
Just a lot of these gimmick pay-per-views, just get rid of it. Like I said, just little stuff like give us Money in Bank part of WrestleMania again. And hell, me personally, give it like I wouldn't be mad if going forward under Papa H. It's always the opener of every Mania going forward.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a great idea, actually. And it looks like we do have another. Oh, sorry, we had another
go
here from D-Town guy. They need to bring back Night of Champions. Well, Night of Champions is always a good idea because one, all the belts were defended as long as they were, for whatever. So that's a good thing. I am always like a purveyor of the belts being defended at the shows, including your US, your Intercontinental title. So yeah, I'm all about that, And I remember too, because like Night of Champions goes back to like WCW. It's the name that kind of when the sale got that. They had the Vengeance pay-per-view for a few years, and then it became Vengeance Night of Champions, which I always thought was so bizarre because it's like, and then they finally got it, and they were like, okay, Vengeance bye, Night of Champions. It made more sense just to have it. But no, thank you always, man. We love hearing from you guys.
Actually, I wouldn't be mad at Night of Champions becoming like a stadium pay-per-view.
Ah, there you go.
You can you can make that one of the big ones. So obviously you got your Mania, you got SummerSlam, you got Royal Rumble. Obviously Survivor Series it's part of Big Four, but it's not really stadium worthy. Shoot, I would make Night of Champions kind of like your stadium pay-per-view. Me personally, I think it'll give it kind of like a UFC type vibe as far as like atmosphere. People coming out with their championships, and it might be a 4-hour pay-per-view. Well, maybe not every championship gets defended that night, but it will always be a champion. But regardless, it'll be a championship getting defended.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like you do, obviously your upper card. You'll do your upper card. You definitely do your mid cards. And then you'll do your tag. Then you do your tag teams. So we got 7 matches, and then hell, you could even bring up for the 8th match. Hell, bring up let's say bring up the NXT title being defended too.
Yep. Oh yeah, they could do that if they're not doing like an NXT show or something. That would make sense.
I mean, hell,
I'm fine with that.
You can have an NXT show the day before or day after. I mean, but still, just NXT title won't be defended at the NXT pay-per-view, but it'll be defended, at Night of Champions.
Yep.
So,
oh yeah.
But I would definitely say, as far as get rid of a lot of these stupid gimmick pay-per-views that no one cares about.
Yeah, and I think the reports have already started coming out about that, where most likely Hell in a Cell has been canceled. It's not official yet, but there's a lot of reports saying that. It makes sense to me. I mean, I would still, Money in the Bank. Gosh, and to me, it already writes itself. Money in the Bank, men's, night 1 of WrestleMania. Money in the Bank, women's, night 2. Like, it's literally writing itself to do it this way. And like Papa H, come on, make it happen,
Papa with the 3 H's, you hear us.
Yeah. Oh Lord. But yeah, and I know Elimination Chamber is actually one of my, I do like it. It's like one of my favorite shows. But remember that came out when, at Survivor Series, right? I believe that was Survivor Series pay-per-view. Then they moved it to New Year's Revolution, where it was there for like 3 years or whatnot. And, but then they said, well, we're going to make it its own show. It's like, well, fine. I still would like to see that, because it's a big thing, the whole thing to do. But if you make it as a match on a pay-per-view, then you don't have to worry about doing it 2 or 3 times. If you have a pay-per-view where you're going to have 2 Elimination Chamber matches in it, then, one probably starts the beginning of the show, other matches, then you have to do all the stuff again to get the ready for the last match. To me, it's still tedious. So, apparently then maybe bringing back King of the Ring this year, the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
No, because it actually would maybe make it relevant again.
Because what makes King of the Ring great is the same thing I always talk about Survivor Series. It gives a chance for the mid card to shine.
Yep. Oh yeah, you'll see people there that would maybe not ready for like a top tier belt or whatnot, but they get the King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring and they sell it. Like last year they did it right, and Xavier Woods won it, and Zelina Vega. And and they did a great job like selling it. Like I thought Zelina did such a great job. She did such a great job doing that whole queen. Yep. And Xavier Woods was just great until until he gets squashed by Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns steals the crown, and it's like done. Hey, you're done. Like you are king no more.
But yeah, like piggybacking off of you, if they were to do another King in the Ring, bring it back, but make it so that the winner gets a guaranteed title shot at SummerSlam.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it would have to be a specific pay-per-view. Like it's not set up exactly like Money in the Bank. It would just be you get this title shot. Because honestly, it always should have been that way, in a sense.
Well, it kind of used to be that way for the longest, because usually if you want King of the Ring, then 2 months later, that said wrestler was main event, whether they won the belt or not, the said King was in the basically was in the main event of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Yeah. So, well, we got Detail Guy here again. Like it was built when they first started it. You get it. You got that. But I agree though when it comes to the gimmick pay-per-views, and it looks like they're going that way. We're still going to get the overseas shows, but with the great success of Clash of the Castle, I think they're going to be going back there for sure every year. Now, I mean, insane ticket sales. Crowd was so hot the entire time. I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. So I'm all about it. But moving forward, just from some of these other things, I'm like, look at my list here. My shorthand sometimes gets a little sloppy, but I can read some.
Always type or text do my list.
Hey, I don't know. I like the tactile idea of writing. So hey, I'm a doctor. You're not supposed to be able to understand what I'm writing here. Come on.
Hands. It's true.
Yeah. There you go. Yes. So I got just a short one here, but it's necessary to happen for AEW. Is the Ring of Honor stuff has to be separated. There's got to be a cut down there with the separation.
Yeah.
I don't, now that you've got this deal, can't even call it a TV deal. It's basically a streaming service that you're gonna have shows on, and what is it, the Badge of Honor or Honor Club, $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
Pay-per-views won't be on there day one. You have to wait 90 days.
Which is stupid.
But
I'm just
at
saying,
that point,
there's a thing called Disney Plus, and they can tell you exactly how to do it.
Right. Oh my Lanta. I know, that's what I'm gonna say. But so the Ring of Honor split has to happen, it just has to. And once that happens, it'll be better because your AEW guys can get the shine more, You can't keep you see like a Ring of Honor belts being defended on Dynamite and Rampage. It's like I get it. You're Jericho or Claudio, those champions, but now it's like you're taking time away from other people again, we talked about earlier. They only have 6 hours a week to work with. You're taking away from other people that can't get put on the show, like Miro, Andrade before
back?
his stuff.
Wait.
No. No. I know.
I'm about to say that's messed up.
Oh no, he's not. I'm just saying. He's been there and hasn't been booked. And I know that there was some rumblings about how he supposedly refused to work with certain people or get put over on people. Who knows? I don't know if those are true. Those could have been taken out of context. We're never going to know exactly on that. What were you saying?
Oh, no, to piggyback off of what you were saying, like as far as they need to separate them, because there's no reason why you should have champions fighting on YouTube. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for it. Even if they're not defending the belt, why is your champion on YouTube wrestling?
I told you that too, I think last week or the week before. Literally, Athena wins the Ring of Honor women's title, and then the next week she's on Dark defending it. Defending the Ring of Honor title. And Claudio was on there, and Wheeler Yuta as a tag team on Dark. So what does that tell you? How that gets treated. And even this week's episode, Kenny Omega was on there. Kenny Omega was on Dark, and it was like, what is going on right now? What are you?
So stupid, but
It's it's very weird. So once they get going with this they also have to finalize the actual roster for Ring of Honor. If you actually look at, there's a Ring of Honor website, like I think it's Ring of Honor Wrestling or something.com, whatever. Go look at the roster for them. They've got like the champions, all the champions, and then like the Briscoes, and then that's it. They have nobody else officially listed as people in their company. So that's a problem. It's like, and whoever you want to be from AEW to wrestle in Ring of Honor, they're going to be wrestling Ring of Honor and not wrestling AEW. So you can't treat it also like what, the BC show. If you really want that to be its own thing, like you're trying to treat it, you don't give them the scraps. Give them top guys to fill out the rest of the roster. Not just the champions, but, and go from there. Like Cesaro, with Claudio, he became champion. It's great, but is it because you believe he would never win the world title in AEW? Because that's pretty messed up, in my opinion. Because he easily could win the title. He, be world champion in AEW. But if you put that strap on him, the Ring of Honor belt, that only to say, hey, you're never going to win the AEW belt, but we're going to give you this belt. So I hope that's not the idea. But
listen, Papa Khan, we just want you to do better, okay? It's like, when you have to tell a child, who knows better. It's like I just want you to do better, okay? That's all.
Do better.
Just want you to do better.
Pat on the head. Do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my little tidbit for Ring of Honor moving forward into 23, and hopefully, it does well. Every pay-per-view they're going to get, I'll get them, support them that way, or you'll get them, support them, because it's going to be a good show.
Unless they're at 4:00.
Unless it's 4:00 again.
I did the first one for you, Papa Khan. I can't keep taking off work for you to do these stupid 4-hour pay-per-view. 4:00 pay-per-views. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh man. But so what else do you got for us? What else resolutions?
Not too much more. But I will say two things. Can I do two back to back?
Of course. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Just small things. For one, Ricochet, can y'all please put a mid-card belt on him? This man been on TV every week. Put some gold around his waist for all the hard work he's doing. I know he just won a tournament and he lost against Gunther, but eventually, and I know Theory and Seth Rollins got a program coming on, but I just want to see Ricochet just get some mid-card love. That's all. Just get some gold around his waist. I mean, dude's been out there like every week. Like, you like at this point, you clearly know he works there. And that's about it. And then the last thing is Papa Khan. I'm coming back to you again. Hold on.
Okay.
Give us a release date on this video game.
I guess we really are going to fight forever.
Want to know. Just give us something. Just give us a month. Give us a month with this game coming out. Right. I want to play it. I think it's gonna be good, and so just work with me. I know you guys got a plan where you're just gonna sell us a base game and you're just gonna DLC it like Street Fighter 5, and I get it, but
at least give us some semblance of when it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Anything.
Even if you give us like a season, you might say it come out summer 23. Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think, because right now at this point, we really are fighting forever, waiting to fight for this game to come out. And it'll be fun. And I'll tell you right now is, once that game comes out, or before it comes out, once we get a solid release date, we'll definitely be having a future episode that's going to be one of our bigger ones about the wrestling game. Our favorite wrestling games throughout the years, and that's going to be a good one. It's going to be good.
I can't wait to give y'all my terrible hot takes on some of y'all games y'all love.
He's going to rip them down, make you cry. He's going to make you cry all over your favorite game. which I know most people is WCW Mayhem. I know, obviously it was that.
Oh yeah, Thunder was the greatest too. So.
Backstage assault.
Backstage assault.
Oh my gosh. But no, those are good. I like them. Those are good takes right there. Let's see. Pretty much we talked about a little of few of these already. Just kind of general ones about just continuing pushing those secondary titles. And everywhere, whether it's the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, which Gunther, they're doing a really good job with him holding the belt, defending it, looking good. The U.S. title, like I mentioned already, the TNT title, in AEW.
North Atlantic.
Yeah, North Atlantic, yes. He's been defending it, the Orange Cassidy. And even like the North American title too. They've been doing a good job.
Really trying to say.
Yeah.
So many American titles right now.
Right. So just making sure that you're pushing those talents. Because again, those talents that win them would be some of them next in line for a higher push. It's what it used to be, especially for the Intercontinental title. It was usually that stepping stone to go for the upper echelon. Obviously it's a different time and era a little bit, but still it really was built that way. So certain people, the belt works for. And as long as they're being defended, that's also good. So just kind of general pushing, making sure that those belts are defended. Even look at New Japan. Like New Japan Pro Wrestling right now, their United States champion is Will Ospreay, and he's facing Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom again. Right. But it's going to be probably an amazing match. These guys can work really well together. And then you have Jay White, who's their world champion. It's good. There's a lot of stuff going on with it, but it's still, when it comes to those secondary titles, they just continue pushing them. Make sure those belts are defended on pay-per-views, premium live events, whatever. Yeah, but make sure that they're defended, because we want to see them on. Seeing them on TV is good too, and that's a good thing. They have been doing a lot of title defenses on TV, and to me that's great. It's good. It's good to see that. And but yeah, that's all. That's kind of like just the more general for all the companies, but they have been doing it. So just continue doing that, and maybe Ricochet gets a title, like you mentioned. Santos Escobar, maybe he'll get a title, maybe. So it depends on what we have going with the different teams. They're really pushing Madcap Moss, which, by the way, apparently he's went back to his name Riddick Moss now. Last week on SmackDown, Emma, who they've kind of paired Emma with him. She's like, can't believe you did that to Riddick and all this stuff. I'm like, they went back to Riddick. Went back to Riddick.
I can't believe it's Riddick. Got Riddick looking around like, who?
Yeah. So it's pretty funny seeing that. But that guy, big guy, lots of potential there too.
Yeah.
So you'll see more opportunities for some of these people to get the gold. So yeah. Let's see. I think I had something. Oh yeah. Yep. I'm looking here. Oh yeah, I guess this kind of could go on top of that too. So when you have these, they've been having a lot of the belt defenses, title defenses on, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage. They need to spice them up a little bit sometimes, and maybe add a ladder match in there. Maybe add Falls Count Anywhere type match, or. Well, the reason I bring up a ladder match is because there's been some good quality ladder matches on TV, Raw and SmackDown. They've had some great matches. And it doesn't have to be just at a pay-per-view event. It could put one on maybe there. Give them, 25, 30 minutes for it. A good built-up storyline. People will be interested in that, So I maybe see some more of those type matches, especially if you're kind of in between pay-per-views, but you're still trying to build through for a storyline.
Yeah.
Then that would work. So, yeah. But You got anything else for your
I might
23?
have one more for the people.
Well, bring it to the people.
Let's see.
Mm.
Actually, here's my last one. WWE. I like to see some more cross promotions going on. Even if it's not your top guy, it might be a mid card guy. Send a guy over to do, somebody else over to do Japan. I know they're doing stuff with Nakamura. They're doing stuff with who knows, but Sasha Banks. Maybe she's out of her contract now. Maybe she's not. Who knows? But we know she's just over there.
Yeah.
Maybe have. Wasn't Sheamus supposed to be doing some type of cross promotion?
I think that was just a fan art thing for the Sheamus thing. Because I went back and looked at it, and it looked like it was just kind of like a Photoshop thing. It was more so one match that was kind of like people wanted to see that happen. But yeah, that, and trust me, it would have been cool, but it was like too good to be true type thing,
Right. But I mean, eventually I'd like to see, a few more cross promotions. Maybe do something with AEW. Maybe have something with the AEW guy, but be on neutral ground, like maybe in New Japan or somewhere else. Whatnot. Just want to see WWE start working with other promoters. See what we can do.
Yeah.
Make some magic happen. Make some memories happen.
Yeah. Oh, I gotcha.
Ronda Rousey's on the TV right now, but well, that's pretty much about it. Like we've seen, like with one of the Good Brothers, where he's got the New Japan champion. What was it?
The never open weight with Carl Anderson.
Yeah, Carl Anderson. Obviously, they've acknowledged that he's a champ. He's a belt holder over there.
And he's actually going to be on the Wrestle Kingdom card next week.
Yeah,
he's defending that belt at Wrestle Kingdom. So
yeah, and obviously, you still want, obviously WWE, they'll always want to be looked at as, as the head honcho of wrestling, and I get it.
Yeah,
but eventually, I just want to see, once again, just give us some more cross promotions. That's all.
Okay, all right. I'm totally with you on that. And I did have one other thing here, too, that definitely just needs to happen. It's a small little one. But, obviously over the past few months, a lot of people have been brought back. We talked a little bit about that last week, about people being brought back, the good, the bad, the disappointing. But, yeah, I think at this point, like, if you want to bring people back, maybe vet it a little bit more. Some people being brought back, like Hit Row, stuff like that, you're just padding out your tag division. That's fine. But Emma being brought back and then being squashed. Come on, like at least she's still on TV, as I mentioned. Like that's good but it's like, you want to bring these people back for the Rumble, because it's always been harder for the women's Rumble to get enough people in it, right? So, and I don't know. That's how I kind of look at it. But just when people get brought back in the company, let's make sure it's meaningful. Make sure there's an impact that happens with it, not just someone's brought back and it's like, who is this guy? Oh yeah, this guy from like a few. Oh yeah, hey, what's up?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, so we'll see what happens with that. But another thing, so one thing I wanted to ask you, Sauce, is with the 2023 upon us, who would you say is going to become world champion for the women? It doesn't mean like whenever, sometime in 23. Name like, who would you see being world champion, men and women, in 2023?
For the men's, I'm going Drew McIntyre. I said earlier, he's really your top baby face. It's time to put the belt back. Time to put the belt back on him. Let him carry the belt for a little bit. Especially now that we got crowds back. And the man gets a hell of a pop every time he shows up on TV. So people love him. The crowd loves him. Kids love him. So let's go ahead and give him a strap. Let's go ahead and have him carry the ball for a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as women's, I am going to go with. I see Britt Baker become a champion again. I see her, getting I see her becoming the face of the women's division again. They're going to work something out between her and Hayter. Somehow, I just feel like she's going to somehow screw her over.
Yeah.
Or whatnot, but so I would say Drew McIntyre and Britt Baker. Those are my champions of 2023.
Okay. All right. So if I had to say someone to be a new champion, I'm going to say that Rhea Ripley will be champion at some point or another in 23.
Okay.
I just, what, depending on however long, but she'll be a champion for at least a little bit of time, And once the tag team belts are off, unified and off of the Usos, then those can be defended, and other tag teams, as we mentioned before, can try to win the belts, and try to have like that power team. Like if Rhea Ripley's still doing Judgment Day, then you can have the other guys with tag belt or United States title or something. It really just depends. But as for a world champion, for WWE, Sami Zayn, baby. Sami Zayn. He comes in and takes and dethrones Roman Reigns. And again, could you just imagine? Like it's like the Kofi Kingston win all over again. If he actually won, there'd be so many people that hate it. Oh, he doesn't deserve it. He's not world title material. But again, strike when the iron is red hot. Come on. You know he's going to lose the belt, right? But it would be crazy to see that. Because at this point, Roman Reigns is this champion so long, he doesn't need the belts. After he's done champion, he's still going to have that power of, acknowledge me, I'm the leader of the bloodline, all this stuff. He wouldn't need the belts any longer at that point. So, and one of the biggest swerve in history, seeing him actually like beat him or something. Oh my gosh. I could oh man, I don't even know. But that's why I said it's kind of far fetched. But just imagine though.
Yeah.
It's like, it just if you think about it, it's like, could they do that? Could they actually do that? But yeah. As for like AEW though, MJF is going to definitely have a big title run. He's going to hold on to that belt for a while. And, I know they're doing a feud with Ricky Starks and everything. And, apparently they had a good match or whatnot. I'm still not completely sold on Ricky, though. I do like him. I'm not sold at all of him being world champion. I was never sold on Hangman Page being world champion. I know there's people that love Hangman Page.
Yeah.
But I just see him as like the lackey from the Bullet Club, that got a little over, and yeah, he's a talented guy, but I don't know. There's something about him I still can't. So right now, AEW, there's not that many of the top guys at that point that would win the title. That's where they're starting these other feuds, which is nice, to see. But MJF is going to hold that belt for a while. If he loses it sometime in this year, I'd be surprised. But if he loses it, I really hope it's not to Moxley or it's not to Omega, even though I like Kenny Omega. But, if you're going to lose it, to at least do it by pushing somebody else, giving someone else the rub for it.
Right.
Like I know Samoa Joe's doing this thing for the TNT, for Ring of Honor and whatnot. But I'd love if he just came in and just like bulldozed someone and he became champion, kind of like he did when he was in TNA. Like that was awesome. To me, it was awesome run there, or even in NXT as well. So, but yeah, that's who I'd say probably for that. Yeah, it's gonna be a good year though. Lots of stuff going on. But also, so kind of moving us over that, because our segment we always have the heat of the week. Who would you think for this past week would be your heat of the week?
My heat of the week right now, I'll say my heat of the week for the year, Pop Page.
Pop, yep.
Man came in, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yep.
People are happy showing up to work. The product I feel is better. Just in general, the wrestling's been better. The belts, the prestige of the belts has been better. Everything just seems like it's been better.
Yep.
And
Yep.
if that old man comes knocking on the door, just kick him in the face and knock him off the porch.
I was gonna say don't answer it, but your method works well as well.
Oh no, you answer it. Establish dominance on the porch. Just roundhouse your old man in the face and just keep it moving.
And then curb stomp after that. You know?
Yep. But I would say Papa H, for what he's done so far, and wishing him, and I would say wishing him, the most success going into 2023.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that too. Just because of everything that's happened over the past few months, I'd have to agree. I'd have to say for sure, Triple H. Just continue doing what you're doing. Now we have, like I said, all these stuff coming up, the road to Royal Rumble, and then going forward to WrestleMania. It's gonna be good. I feel like we're gonna have some. It's gonna be some interesting times, to say the least. So, but. Yeah, I will be excited for sure. I know you will be as well.
Oh, yeah.
So. But yeah, so like I said, we've been on there since August. And like right at the end of July into August. And now we're going into 23. This is the last broadcast for 22 from the New Killer Heat Wave Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week in 23. So
see you next year.
See, oh my gosh. But yeah, so again, we kind of gave you what our thoughts are for you, Papa H, TK, little TK, good TK, and New Japan, Impact. Listen, heed our words, and as long as you did like what? An eighth of what we said, I'll be happy.
Oh,
so
yeah. If you just did one thing, I said I'll be good.
There you go.
By that one thing, put that US belt on Ricochet.
Yep. Oh man, no, he's gonna be put again. If it was McMahon, he'd be putting the Brawling Brutes as Rick O'Shea, the Black Irish. I'm telling you, Vince would have done it. So, but no, as always, thank you guys for chatting with us, watching us. It's always a good time. We love talking. Just again, two guys from Michigan love talking about wrestling with you guys. And but we'll definitely catch you next week in 23. And as always, I'm Dr. Love, and then of course we got Sauce Bronson.
And on the last note, Happy New Year. Be safe. Go Lions. Go Michigan. And y'all be good.
See you guys.